tuning in, and welcome back. This is the Jagged Edge special. Initially, we planned this as the year end, but this is the year start.
This definitely isn't our second time doing this.
Definitely not. Why would you think that? Yeah.
There were no audio issues.
None.
We didn't. This was not initially an end of the year special that we were going to do at the end of the year.
We had
instead of. Oh, by the way, Happy New Year.
Yeah, we had utter perfection. We're just here again because we just wanted to. No, hey,
that's right.
No, hey, everybody! Big welcome to you. This is Ian here, along with Chris.
Hi.
Hey.
Happy New Year.
2019. We are just a fresh old day into it, man.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
But
has the new year been good to you, Ian?
So far. I spent some good time with family today. I got the year off to a good start, some good conversation, all that good stuff, and yeah.
Not so much for me though, but I told you about that.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's all right.
That stuff you ran into at work. Oh man.
Yeah.
No fun at all. You know, as hyped as we are for the stuff that's coming up this year, movies and games and then all that, you know, you can't help but look back at what we're just coming out of and the things that define 2018, the things that really push that, good and bad. We look at the gaming end, you know, of course, there's a lot of bad. We saw the rise and fall of a whole lot of franchises, and heck, we've still got some on the ropes right now as we speak.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we're going to be talking about a lot of the big stories from last year, and interesting enough, and why this is still relevant, is that most of this still affects how things are going to go this year.
Right.
So that's why we had we recorded this before and had it messed up, that's why we said let's do it again. If that had happened.
Suppose in some hypothetical universe.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. Well, look at the top of our list here. You know, one that you and I are really excited about, or that at least we had to really sort of back off a bit. Maybe this is not the utopia we thought. Star Trek. We got this awesome announcement, you know, last year about Picard making his comeback. We said, "Oh my God, Next Generation Mark II, here we go, finally!"
Yep, we were so excited, and then we came down to Earth. Reality sunk in as to the people who control Star Trek right now and the decisions they've been making.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of controversy there, and they're not doing so great.
No,
they're not doing. There's a lot of the fan base is very, very divisive. So, you know, and in fact, when that had come out, you and I had recorded like this really cool thing of, oh, this would be great if they did this, and if they did this, and if they did this. And then I started looking into a little bit more of, okay, well, who's actually got control of this stuff, and what are we likely to see? And I'm like, yeah, we can't release that.
No.
But we had a good time doing it.
We did. If anything, it was really cool looking back at where we were left off in that universe, looking at the end of the last movie, talking a bit about the series, where some of the characters were at that point, and what we might see from them. Yeah, man, I love the speculation.
But I think we're going to see this by the end of the year. They're in production now.
Right.
Some of the other former cast members have been seen around the production area, and that's really all. I mean, I'm not even going to speculate beyond that. That could mean something. It could mean nothing. I mean, if you worked on what is arguably the most popular part of the Star Trek IP, and you know somebody's doing it again, you might go and visit.
Right.
You might just go visit the set, or maybe you have a part in there. Who knows?
Sure.
But what we do know for a fact is that Patrick Stewart is back as Captain Picard,
right?
And that's at least worth a look. And that was huge news. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, this Next Generation was just a defining chapter for Star Trek. And for goodness' sake, it's what got me personally into Star Trek, into really watching and being invested. You know, after that, I went back and watched all the classic stuff with Kirk, and then did DS9 and history. It's history from there. So,
well, Star Trek Next Generation was a defining factor for sci-fi.
Yeah,
for TV. I mean, you know, that show has, well, there are elements that have not aged well. Its importance in media, continues only to shine brighter.
No, hey, too true. No, dude, well said. And I mean, the way that I think you had plot lines set up, everything from Borg invasions to the really more cerebral episodes between like Picard and Q. The narratives were great. It always kept it in your toes, man. It was fun watching week to week. So
I hope, and I had we recorded this before and messed up, I might have said something about I hope they decide to go in a different route than what they have been with the latest movies and TV show. Whether you like those or not, I don't think anyone would really argue that seeing things go back more to the next generation route of storytelling.
Sure.
A less is more kind of approach, I think would be the best way to go.
Same. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Panning off a sci-fi a bit. This was, looking back at 2018, dude, this was the superhero year, man. I mean, he was,
even though half of them died.
Even though we had the snap. I mean, I got to look at Marvel here, alone. Like, man, or should I? You know what? Maybe I should base that on DC first, because I think we might be a little shorter going into that. DC. Let's take a look at DC. Look, you had the meteoric rise at one point of. I remember when Batman versus Superman was announced. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And effectively, you had this rush of so many of the DC heroes and properties to combine for Justice League and sort of match what Marvel was doing, but it was really all too much of a fever pitch and a fever pace. We get Aquaman at the end of the year, largely, in my opinion at least, a story that I really wish we had before Justice League, but overall, the DCEU, the whole extended universe plan, it's a mess. Fortunately, there was a lot of slowdown that happened with this. There's some signs that might be really picking up some pieces, taking their time to get stuff together for what we might see going forward. We got Shazam on the way, and we know we got Wonder Woman 2 on the way. So.
Well, that's part of the worlds of DC,
right?
This is all kind of messy. That's the whole thing, because we have the Joker origin story coming out, which is not part of the worlds of DC,
right?
So they have 3 movies coming out this year after they had just one in 2018,
right?
And I'm pretty sure the one is because the Flash never took off.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of issues that have been around the production of that, but we have 3 coming up. But going into 2018, it was a hot mess. It was, it was Justice League in November of 2017, and coming in, it was just like, whew, oh boy. And then there was all kind of shifts as far as who was heading up the DC side, different producers. We're going to wrangle in this, we're going to wrangle in that. There was. It got to the point where in 2018 we were like, we're not even going to talk about this stuff anymore because a lot of this just seems like hot air.
Well, it was constantly shifting. You couldn't. It was hard to even talk about something without it changing 2 weeks later. So So it was quiet for a while, and then it was just Aquaman, and now Aquaman is on its way to becoming the highest grossing DCEU film. Yep.
And it's doing good.
Yeah,
it's kicking some butt. And there was a guy that said it was either the best worst film of the year or the worst. What was it? The best worst film or the worst best film?
There you go.
It was one or the other. I have not had a chance to see it yet because my theater screwed me. I do plan on seeing this soon, though.
Cool.
But you and Isaac came out of it basically saying, it's good.
Yeah. We gave it the nod. This was we both agreed this is the good step, a step in the right direction for DC. And look, we want DC to succeed too. This is I would love to see Marvel and DC side by side with their own properties with different types of storytelling and the way they're sort of both proceeding apace. Yeah, man. I at the end of the day I was positive coming out of that one. I didn't see it as like the 10 out of 10 out of the park, but in the same hand, especially if you've been following DC, go check it out. So cool.
Hopefully things can get better. I watched Man of Steel today. It was on TV today.
Really?
Yeah. So what was that, 2012?
Yeah.
Maybe even a little older than that. Good stuff. A lot of things wrong with it. But I actually came away feeling exactly how I did several years ago when I seen it.
Yep.
But still, there's something there. They could bring it back. I want them to bring it back.
Oh, there is. So
That being said, I think Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be a shitstorm.
This might be the one that hits the Wonder Woman ship, man. I mean, it's been on a roll. People loved her appearance in BVS. The Wonder Woman movie did so well. Where this one's going to go, though, can they keep the ball rolling?
Jump the shark. That's what it's going to do. See that shark?
So, no, I'm going to go check it out. I'm still going to go check it out, though. So. How about Marvel? Marvel, dude, the year of Infinity War, the year of Black Panther, man, I don't even know where to even start.
We had a lot of Marvel stuff happening.
A whole bunch.
And some of it great, some of it the worst you could think of.
Both on the movie side and on the Netflix side of things, as far as for streaming services. And then also for the talent side of it. I got to look at one of the defining events here. Before I even talk about this one, you had Steve Ditko, but then Stan Lee. What a huge impact! I mean, we saw his first posthumous appearance in Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, I know, as you said before, we're going to continue to see Stan Lee appearances in Marvel films, but those were some shockwaves, man. That was a ripple.
That's not confirmed yet either, but I think they're going to keep Stan Lee in there forever.
Right.
They'll always do something to keep him there, as well they should. The fact that he's passed, even though it was always great to see him, I mean, it wasn't just about him. As far as him being alive, it was always about a nod to the origin of these stories, which was him. And I don't see why that would change just because he is passed, which sucks. But I mean, you got to keep that going. You got to keep it in its roots.
You do.
Don't let people forget. And I think he would want that to continue.
Absolutely. So I think that's what you celebrate at the end of the day. It's that legacy. That sting doesn't stick with you when you look at all the cool content that's here, and what we have today and what's going to keep growing. So full 10-gun salute. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Steve. Before I look at the obvious, the movies and all that, I want to look real quick at Netflix. Huge changes here. We got series, we got stuff being canceled left and right. Luke Cage, you're out of here. Iron Fist, you're out of here. Daredevil, you're out of here.
That was the shocker. That's when he knew something was up. That's when it was like, because reports have been Iron Fist was Iron Fist, like, okay. Yeah. And then Luke Cage, and there was some presser that came out. Well, we talked about doing a season 3 and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, then like Daredevil, 2 weeks after it came out, and you're like, wait a goddamn second.
Yeah.
Something stinks here.
And sure enough, here we have everything sort of congealing over at Disney's end for their new service. I mean, if this is, we mentioned this on multiple shows, if this is the tree it takes felling, the thing that has to hit to start really bringing the movies flowing better into the shows, to have those appearances, to finally make that smoother link to the universe. Hey, go for it. It's a painful thing at first, and then it's undercutting the stuff they still have. Punisher is definitely going to be on weaker legs when the next season for that comes out. Because
everyone's expecting them to be canceled now.
Yeah.
And the teaser came out for the Punisher season 2, and the vast majority on social media was like, "Who cares?
Yep,
it's gonna be gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we won't ever see it again." So
it hurt that. It hurt that, but hopefully the type of feature it's going to build, that can be a really, really awesome thing. The movie side, though. Look, Black Panther, right up early on in 2018, just shattered records. Had a killer run in theaters. This is one we expected, I think, to be really cool. Black Panther already had a really cool introduction. I loved him in Civil War, left it wide open to delve more into a story, but actually seeing Wakanda, seeing its significance and everything it meant, of course, even later on, too, in Infinity War, awesome. Also surprising some people too. Everybody was assuming, the last stone was going to be there. And in a way, people were half right. The last big battle was fought there, but in a way, I think some people didn't expect. So, and Black Panther then left things open right into Infinity War. The effects of the snap, we're still feeling it. Infinity War being the renaissance of 10 years of Marvel coming together. Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, all of them. All these things we've been watching, and it's hard to do. A story that big, it's hard to do. I'd say even in 4 or 5 hours. But for what we got, I think it was a really, really solid delivery that I cannot wait to see in game coming up this year. So, also cool.
MCU continues to do things that people had always said were impossible.
Yep.
I mean, whether you're a big fan of it or not, they're pulling it off.
But it wasn't all roses. You had the firing of James Gunn, and came up right during Comic-Con, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was a big mess.
Yeah, that was sort of all over the place, and you're an old past coming back to haunt him, over the tweets and whatnot, and that the show is going to continue. There were a lot of complaints, though, even from the Guardians crew themselves. Dave Bautista being outspoken himself, but
yeah,
still, nonetheless.
Well, to the point where Dave Bautista wants to go work with James Gunn over at DC now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing to keep in mind here is that Gunn is still going to have a chance to flourish. And you know what? Hey, DC is getting a power card. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it's been said that James Gunn was being looked at as the guy to replace Kevin Feige someday, and now he's working over at DC with Suicide Squad 2. So that's a good hire for them. I remember that James Gunn had posted on Twitter a lot of horrible things.
Yeah.
That being said, hindsight being what it is, Disney and James Gunn should have been able to sit down and figure this thing out. And ultimately, it's a loss.
Right.
It's a shame that it happened. Definitely lessons to be learned as to what you post to social media. Companies care.
They do.
You can agree with it or not. It doesn't matter. Companies care. And your past can haunt you if you have a past out there that could be questionable. It could ultimately, more than anything, more than it just being questionable, cost companies money.
Absolutely.
So,
but
they should have been able to find a path through this.
Yeah, I would have hoped. I mean, especially where things are at. But hey, what is we're going to keep marching right on, and I honestly hope, like I was saying, DC will be at the end of the day better for it. So speaking of Disney, the one mouse to rule them all.
That's right, the one mouse.
That's the tagline. I'm still thinking. That laugh. Oh, and we got it recorded. Yes. Oh, I'm going to clip that.
All right, do it. With a Kit Kat, too.
I think back to that graphic you did for one of our shows earlier in the year with the Mickey Mouse head on top of the ISR, or taking the place of the ISR. And it's pretty much what it is. I mean, look, Disney just ate stuff like a Leviathan, just consuming, making huge acquisitions, especially when you just look at the Fox properties alone.
With a big pantsless duck the whole time. What, are you going to worry about this duck? Well, I'm not doing nothing bad. Look at him. He doesn't even wear pants, this guy. Yeah. No, he's not trying to hurt nothing. He's just trying to take over all the media.
Hey, check this out. Donald is so edgy, he has a zipper on his hat now. In Kingdom Hearts, he does. I don't know why, I don't know what function, but that's pretty edgy to me.
Well, who knows why anyone does anything in that game. But yeah, so the acquisition of Fox properties is approved this last year, and it will go into effect in 2019. By the end of the year, we will have the Disney Plus streaming station.
Right.
And a lot of those Fox properties will automatically be seen there. It's going to be really interesting. I still don't think we're ever going to get the New Mutants movie. I still don't think we're going to get that last X-Men movie. I don't think they're going to release that.
I hear you.
It is said recently that Marvel Studios may acquire the X-Men and Fantastic Four as soon as next month, as soon as February. That may officially be back. All together.
Oh, oh man. And finally, maybe we won't have to correct this X-Men timeline for the.
Oh God, no! Just bury it. Just bury it
for the umpteenth time. Look, with as far as I'm concerned, look, Logan. That's the end. We're done. We're done.
Yep. It should have ended with Logan.
Yep.
The only exception that you get two exceptions: Legion and Deadpool.
True.
And Legion only because that thing is. I mean, what have we really seen?
Right.
We've seen a wheelchair in we saw the wheel of Professor X's wheelchair. Everything else has been the vaguest of nods.
Right.
And so I give Legion. Legion's alright. It got approved for season 3. That'll show up sometime this year, maybe, hopefully. Keep Deadpool because he can break the fourth wall.
Yes.
Make everybody different. He can be poking fun at that all day long. And keep him. But yeah, just and that's not to say that everything from these previous X-Men movies have all been bad. There's been some really good performances, but they've been bad enough. They've been bad enough. Just wipe the slate clean. Just rip it off and get a whole new sheet of paper going, and just build it right. You've shown that you can do it, so build the X-Men up right. I want to see one giant, huge, multimedia X-Men world as a larger part of the MCU.
Yes,
I want I want shorts on the internet. I want a TV show. I want movies. I want video games based on it. Not just video games that are Marvel video games, but video games based on the in the MCU. With X-Men, there's so many X-Men characters. You can spread this out everywhere.
Sure can, man. I mean, if we'll talk about this a little later too. I can't help but look the direction of Spider-Man. If there can be such a renaissance around that character, around that property, especially just what we saw in 2018. I mean, my head just starts spinning when I think what could happen with X-Men. So, I love it. There now some other possibilities out here, some other stuff happening. The Disney service, that's with Star Wars. You got the first live-action Star Wars show, and you got the final season of Clone Wars hitting.
Yeah, that's good. Get them in. Get that going before the wall falls. I guess. I don't know.
Oh man, no, for
it
sure.
all comes crumbling down.
Tell me about it. And then the Clone Wars. I never followed that.
I've been trying to get you to watch that for years.
You have, and I need to, because dude, the little I've seen of it is awesome. I really, really enjoyed it, and plus, I think some other talents that I really dig, like Gendy Tartakovsky. I thought he worked on some of it at some point.
First couple years are but you deal with the first couple years so that you can enjoy the second half of it.
There you go.
Which it just gets good. It's good stuff. You need to watch it.
Sweet. Of course, not all roses with Star Wars. This was this past year here. The fall.
No, there's like one rose.
Oh my goodness, Lucasfilm and Star Wars, dude. Star Wars on the ropes. Like you said, years and years back, if someone said, in 2018, Star Wars would have its back up against the wall, you'd sound like a madman. Yeah. But I mean, look at what happened. We had Last Jedi, the enormous fallout from that, the press backlash, the Twitter wars over that, the lost sales and merchandising, and then the sacrifice of Solo. Solo took the axe after Last Jedi fell, and now J.J. Abrams is carrying a big old weight on his shoulders with Episode 9. So much is riding on that.
Well, the whole franchise is hanging on it, really.
Yeah, it's wild. And
I mean, and obviously, again, this started at the end of 2017. I mean, mid-December, but the fallout all happened last year. When we did a review for The Last Jedi, we were, I think back to it, we were kind of in a funk too. It's like
we were,
and I don't even think consciously we were figuring out in our brain, yeah, this really was a piece of shit.
Right. No, not yet. I really think we were at that point where we were really grasping and grappling with what we'd seen and really trying to process through all that and say, well, okay, what's the angle here? Are we looking at this with the kind of glasses we need to? But,
right. We questioned ourselves as consumers. Did we get it? Are we missing something? And I think that's really given consumers more confidence, and we definitely see it on the gaming side of things.
Oh yeah,
as to no, we're not the problem, you're the problem. And you companies that take the stance of saying, well, you don't get it, and this is a holier than thou kind of approach.
Right, talk down.
yeah, we're just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna buy your shit. I'm gonna go buy somebody else's shit. So be that gaming or TV or anything else, which I think is good and healthy. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Wars took its first official loss in a movie with Solo, and that was directly due to The Last Jedi.
Right.
Last Jedi was trash. And it was really interesting, especially in the first half of the year, because it really took that long, and it's still a heated topic, but really it dominated the first half of the year.
It did.
And just watching how this whole thing turned, and it's amazing. As a lifelong Star Wars fan, and I still am. Solo was fine. I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian's looking great.
That's shaping up.
Yeah, Clone Wars is looking really good. What I've seen of Resistance is hit or miss. I don't give something a stigma right away. I'll give other aspects of that IP a chance. But yeah, if they screw up Episode 9, it's going to be done.
Yeah.
The walls are going to fall, and this franchise is going to die. And I know that sounds like hyperbole, but I mean it literally. This franchise will end. They've got to do a really good job. It's J.J. Abrams is trying.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and say he can do it. I wouldn't bet on it though. Honestly, if somebody put a gun to my head, but I'd be like,
right,
sorry, I gotta bet against Star Wars on that one.
Man.
We'll see. We'll see, but yeah, obviously a lot riding on that.
Yeah.
It's either going to be the final nail in the coffin, or it's going to be the resurrection that everybody wants.
Make or break.
Yeah.
Oh,
very interesting.
Good stuff, man. Speaking of Fallout, and saying this earlier as we kind of start transitioning and talking about gaming and everything, you have some groups that are less in a make or break position than are just breaking in period and just trying to gain ground. We had some major groups this year. Some were already in hot water with people still. I'm especially with EA, the microtrans and everything like that. But really, from some other giants too, that just some real surprises here especially from Bethesda and Blizzard. I do want to take a look at EA first. Look right up top. You had. Speaking of Star Wars,
back into Star Wars.
Right back into it. I'm actually not too far off track here. You had the Battlefront 2. That disaster, man. You were right in the middle of this.
Yeah, that was a 1-2 punch. Good God. It's just like, well, you didn't just piss off the number one form of media. You pissed off the number 2 form of media too, and everything's just all. Which is funny because it took Disney to tell EA to knock it off, which I think is hilarious in and of itself. But that was before they had their hands full.
It was.
Battlefront 2 suffered, and it will suffer and continues to suffer from this. Taking the focus off of Battlefront 2 more, but this exposed the larger problem of microtransactions.
Right.
AAA gaming developers, I should say, AAA gaming developers approach, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them in their approach as far as how they're doing microtransactions, DLCs, expansions, how they're releasing their games. This year definitely saw a big pushback, and it actually started at the end of 2017 with this game,
right, in
large part. The voices had been there, but it's not just a couple guys saying, hey, you know what? This seems kind of shitty. Now they're yelling. And there's a lot of people. And again, this is coming down to people turning their backs, in a lot of cases forever, but at least for a lot of the content that's coming out, turning their backs on their favorite companies, on their favorite franchises. Yeah. Saying, I've had enough. I will not support your approach to this or that when it comes to their games.
Right.
And bravo for them. Look, there's 2 ways we vote in this world. Literally about every couple of years, you get to go in and vote for elections, but you are constantly voting with your dollar.
Always.
And I love the fact that people are understanding the empowerment that they have with this, and they're taking a stand on it.
Yeah. It's sort of gone are I think the days of just sort of blindly standing on a company message, a company slogan, or just because it's this name, put everything behind it. It's not just the savvy of consumers. I think it's as you go further on through time, gaming alone, the capabilities, the type of tech we have now, I think, not just visually, aesthetically, but what people look for, I think, in gaming, whether that's the story, the narrative period, or just basics, the gameplay, avoiding microtrans, deep in-depth experiences or open world and the rest of it. That list has grown so much since the days of Atari and Pitfall and Mario and 16-bit and 32 and PlayStation 1. It's amazing. And I think that's just going to continue to change.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think this year specifically, we are going to start seeing... we're either going to see major changes in how AAA companies approach their production of games, or we're going to actually see some AAA companies fall. We're going to see some of the biggest of giants actually fall this year. We probably will see both, quite honestly.
Yeah.
It's probably going to take a couple of them going down before we start seeing some serious changes. But, as time goes on, the people are just getting savvier on this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're getting sick of it.
Yeah.
And, it's not up yet, but it will be up. We're going to do a comprehensive review for Soul Calibur 6, and I'm going to talk a bit about this as almost a poster child for what you don't want to be doing with your post-release content.
Especially as we talk about DLCs and things like that. This is something that groups can really get nailed to the wall about. Capcom had a real rough run of it as well with Street Fighter V. In fact, it's kind of like a running meme. Everybody laughs about that when you start up matches. There's these advertisements always for costumes and stuff like that. But yeah, that had a really rough rollout. So
I kind of merged two topics there, didn't I?
You did. I like it.
Hey, me. Don't worry, we're coming back to it though.
Oh man. Considering the whole gamut of it, man. Yeah, DLC, microtrans, its place in gaming itself is something that's not only, I think, going to be tested as it has been, but I think defined more and more until it's really, in stone. I think people are looking at. On the good side, there's something that happened that we started to see gain some serious ground. Now, a lot of this, they're a really, really popular game. Neither one of us play through Fortnite, but I'm looking at the crossplay. Platform crossplay, and being able to play the same game on different consoles and be on the same server and stuff. Before that, the closest example I have to something I play, Final Fantasy XIV. I started that on PS3. Although that no longer has PS3 support because they're upgrading the fidelity, it's PS4/PC. But I loved being able to share a server with friends regardless of my console. That's cool. There's a lot of games I wish supported that more or had that. In fact, Chris and I come from a community that really could have been saved. Yeah, and if had
hold on, I have to disagree with.
Hold on a minute, I'm going a little far with that. I don't know about the entire community, but a game that definitely could have been saved.
Yeah, I think it'd be better to say, instead of saying the community could have been saved, this game fell because they not only was crossplay not a thing, but they openly just decided to split the community in how they were releasing it. So, it's
absolutely right. Especially when you consider if you already have a small dedicated cult fan base, but you split that fan base and you put them on two consoles and then just make it a mess for anybody else wanting to get into it. Now it can be a disaster scenario, but Fortnite has been a poster child for this. You've got other examples out there. This is something I want to see continue going. I think it's great. I know it's a hill that the devs find sort of hard to climb sometimes because Microsoft, Sony, or others start butting heads. It's like, no, wait, man, hey, this is mine. No, wait, no, this is mine. You stay over there. But when that breaks down, there's some really cool stuff can happen. I hope we keep seeing it. So.
It's interesting because for you and I, and I think for a lot of people, but I know for a fact you and I, a lot of what dictates which consoles we buy are the exclusives they get.
Yep.
And when it comes to the exclusives, you're obviously not going to see crossplay in really any form. In some cases, you may down the road, but you don't count those as exclusives. Like if a game comes out for one console first and comes out for another year later, that was never really an exclusive. So, that dictates a lot of the reasons why people pick the consoles that they do. When it comes to these games that come out for Switch, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, it's that crossplay that's needed. And it's kind of funny because you have something like exclusives that made such a strong decision for people, and you had to deal with the consequences of that as far as what you got, what your friends got. You shouldn't have to deal with that with these games that come out on multiple platforms.
No.
So it's. I think we could have the best of two worlds here, and those games rarely, the multi-platform games rarely dictate which console someone gets. So they really shouldn't have to be separated like that.
I agree. I totally agree.
You know, quite honestly, these platforms, these companies with their platforms, they should prop up their exclusives as this is, this is why you should get this. And, like Mortal Kombat 11, which is going to come out in about 4 or 5 months, it's coming out for everything. I think it's even coming out on the Switch. It's coming out for I think I'm going to be able to play it on my phone 1 month later on Android. That should be crossplay. And I haven't heard if it's going to be or not, but it should be.
It should.
And, this is going to be in the hands of those developers more than anything. Yes, it obviously comes down to the platform, but the platforms, the PCs, the consoles, they've been getting closer and closer as far as development, in large part. Not always, but in large part, they're getting closer and closer as far as development and production for years now. And this should be less and less of an issue as we move forward, hopefully. Right. And hopefully it's just not even a thing anymore. Same. Sorry, did I talk too much?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I think that's warranted.
Should I go back to Kit Kats?
As long as you break me off a piece.
Hypothetically, had we tried to record this before, I probably would have been eating Kit Kats then too. and I have them again if that was a real scenario.
That's weird, man. Now you're making me want to go get some. I'm fresh out of chocolate.
Is that a hypothetical deja vu?
It is. I'm going to turn around and make sure I didn't see a black cat walk down the hall twice.
You're going deep down the rabbit hole.
Love it. But hey, there was some other fallout though. Specifically with the goes right in line with the title. I'm looking at Bethesda. One thing we saw this year too was, in the last thing I'd expect, the non-delivery of a special edition pack. Bethesda set up with Fallout 76. This was
hardly the biggest issue with that game, though.
Hardly the biggest, but this was definitely a tip of the iceberg for it. With not delivering the materials promised for the special edition, there was a whole lot of revolt against that. But
48 gig patch.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, that is a monster. And I think this has really given Bethesda some pause and actually a little bit of a freak out to see Fallout hit a wall like this. Yeah, it should. This is a long-standing flagship series for them, which by all accounts was really posted to hit things out of the park. This being the first Fallout that's multiplayer. Now, that's always been a single-player, huge open-world single-player game, and having this kind of interaction with it and finally being able to play that with friends should be the crowning jewel of this series, but it hasn't been so. There's been some rocky outcrops with that. There's been outcry, and I think Bethesda's really taken a step back to just sort of assess this and work through it. But man,
in an alternate reality where we recorded this show twice, I might have said the first. Shut up. I might have said the first time. Because Bethesda, they have one of my favorite IPs of all time in Doom.
Right. And
I'll be getting Doom Eternal. The Doom franchise gets that from me. You don't get that from me in a lot of games, but they get, okay, I'm buying Doom Eternal. Right. Even though there's not a lot out for it yet. I'm going to be getting it, but if they do this kind of crap with Doom Eternal, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with Doom. And I'm probably done with Bethesda. I mean, this is You talk about the bag thing, and the bag thing. You're right. It is a iconic situation with the whole scenario. I mean, in general, the game's been a complete clusterfuck.
Right.
But the bag thing is really just, it's like ripping people off and then like giving them. Well, so I think the battle pack or whatever was $200,
mm-hmm.
and then they don't get the right bag.
Right.
So then they give them the microtransaction equivalent of $5 worth of in-game bucks.
Right.
As sorry about that, and then they're like, "We'll get you your bag at some point."
Yeah.
And it really is. And you would, I think, brought up at some point how they were reacting and the customer service.
Right.
Really is pretty pitiful, especially for a company that, I mean, should be doing better.
Yeah. So,
I mean, they've been around since the beginning.
Yeah. And I mean, the corrections eventually came, and then even after the DLC thing, there was some more after that. But the point was that wasn't the first reaction. It really took just a massive swift kick, like a donkey kick, to really, really get things in motion with that. And that's a surprise. It was to me, and I've never even had a huge investment in Fallout, but when I hear the name Doom, man, of course, that's some serious echoes there.
Oh. Yeah. And I mean, it does worry me because this is Fallout. I'm not a big Fallout guy either.
Right.
But it's their two biggest games. And if they could screw up Fallout this badly, it worries me about Doom.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the first initial announcement for that at E3.
Yep.
We still, I don't really think have seen much of anything else, including a release date. I check it regularly.
Wow.
And yeah, we still got. That's not altogether strange, but it is kind of strange at this point. I mean, this is a big game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to say Doom's a big game is an understatement. This is one of the biggest of games. People love the new Doom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get your stuff together.
Classic Doom is still on speedrun challenges for Games Done Quick every year, like the charity events. It's just an immortal series, dude. When you think of shooters. But, hey, looking at one other huge group here, Blizzard. You had the whole Diablo debacle at BlizzCon. Man, what a moment. And you have to look at what led up to that. People got built into a fever pitch. Shortly after, I think that was community manager Lorilla came out and spoke on YouTube with that video about multiple Diablo projects in the works. And then sort of stoking the flames and everything else, the post and whatnot. So I get it. That was supposed to be the seatbelt insurance. Hey, kids, hey, we fastened up.
Yeah.
They know. But no, the fans took that as, oh my God, Diablo 4. And anything short of announcing that or something leading up to it was going to be riot. But
yeah, they needed to hand out flyers. Everybody just walked in at BlizzCon. No Diablo 4. Here's your flyer. Here's your flyer. No Diablo. It's just in big letters. No Diablo 4. That's all it should have said. Yeah, they did a horrible. Well, you know what? It's funny though, because they were very cryptic with it,
right?
And people took it the wrong way. But at the same time, were they like, well, how many people are going to buy the stream if we just outright say
right?
No Diablo. I mean, and this is really disheartening from Blizzard. I mean, Blizzard is one of those companies where they've had people's trust. Where it's like, when people talk about gaming companies and how gaming companies should approach things and do things, they've pointed to Blizzard for years. Yeah, for the majority, I'd say. And yes, it's been questionable the last few years or so ever since Activision's gotten their hand on it. But even still, I mean, but yeah, this whole year for Blizzard has been pretty bad with what a lot of people are saying is probably the worst expansion that's come out for World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Former World of Warcraft fan, played it for 7 years. I haven't played in years though, not at any kind of dedicated level or anything. But I almost got into Battle for Azeroth, and I actually stopped myself in my tracks. And I was like, you know what? I'm not liking some of what I'm hearing here. Let's wait and see. And people have been unsubscribing in droves. A lot of people just found the expansion lacking in content. or it means like a game like an MMO, you have to have drive, you have to have purpose as to what you're doing, and a lot of people feel that that's just not there. But yeah, this BlizzCon thing, I mean, to not only not announce anything for Diablo 4, but it was like, no, we're not going to give you that. But look at this phone game. Phone game.
Don't you have phones?
Don't you have a phone? With the phone, it's Diablo on your phone. Microtransactions. I mean, free to play. Free to play. You can pay though if you want. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, dropping the ball doesn't cover it.
No. And I think this really, really gutted a whole lot of people about Diablo and stuff. So, yeah, man. WoW, the giant that's been the head of the pack for MMOs just forever. I mean, it's always going to have its ups and downs just for its sheer age. And by the way, I just give a huge salute to Blizzard just for WoW's age and for that still being in the game and still being where it's at. Like, hey, yeah, they've done a lot with it, but yeah, the Diablo crowd isn't going to be quiet. I really want to see where this goes. I mean, I really got into Diablo back in Lord of Destruction. Yeah, who didn't? Everybody loved rune words and stuff like that, but D3.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I started PC gaming, there was 2 games I was playing, and this goes way back, and that's Baldur's Gate and Diablo.
Yep.
Then I think it was Quake 2 and Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun after that.
TB Sun, yes.
That's how far back I'm going. I've been a huge fan of Diablo. I'm not as big of a fan as you. You have more lasting power with these Diablo games than I do. I will play them for years. You will play them for years and years.
Oh yeah.
So there's just to give, but we're both huge fans. Not to say that I'm in no way casual. I just don't have the lasting power with the action RPG as he does. So, I actually come from a little bit. I'm kind of looking forward to getting my hands on Diablo Immortal. It will never get a dime from me. If not because I just don't like paying for microtransactions for phone games, but at this point, out of principle, it's like I'll play your phone game. You will never see any money from me. I'll play your phone game.
I'll play. Sure.
Because I like a good action RPG on my phone.
Sure.
I won't pay a dime though. And I think a lot of people will take that same boat. That is, of course, assuming it will be free, which it most likely will be.
Most likely.
Blizzard, you screwed up bad, really, really bad. You and Bethesda and EA go sit in the corner. In fact, I'd like to just throw them all in the Thunderdome and just throw a bat in there with a nail in it and just be like, all right, 3 of you can enter. Yeah. One of you leaves.
I know we got the whole ActiBliz thing going on, but honestly, I have more faith with Bethesda and Blizzard to pull out of things quicker than EA. EA is so questionable. And it's funny I'm saying that. I'm the guy sitting here that's going to be playing Anthem.
Yeah, you're going to be doing our Anthem coverage.
Oh my gosh, I'm worried.
As well you should be. I remember we talked about this months ago, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm dropping out. I'm done.
Yeah.
And you were like, you know what? I'm going to stay on this train. I'm like, okay. You keep riding that choo-choo. I'm getting off at the next stop. So, but now you're there.
Yeah.
Now you're there. Now you're on.
Will it be the fail road? We'll have to see. But
I like that, the fail road.
Yeah. All aboard.
Choo-choo.
Man. But yeah, that kind of, I think it brings us around the bend for gaming. I can't help but look at one last awesome thing I think to highlight this year. That's Spider-Mania. It's the simplest way I can say it.
That's just not gaming, though.
It's not. It's
that was everything.
Everything. I mean, on the gaming side, of course, we have Marvel Spider-Man. Unbelievably fun. The best Spider-Man game I played since, yes, I'm going to say it again, Maximum Carnage. Me and my LJN love.
Well, that's why you're going to play Anthem, and I'm not. Right there.
Best fighting game I've played in years, but it's just been a fever pitch from what we've had with MCU from the movies, Spider-Man Homecoming, seen him appear in Infinity War. We have Spider-Man Far From Home upcoming. We had Spider-Verse. I mean,
But
look,
it's not just that. There's more.
but wait.
There's more. Spider-Man was actually, I mean, obviously in comic books,
Right.
To which, there's a lot. He hit 801 issues this year and then rebooted. But also, they've had a cartoon out.
Yeah.
And he's everywhere. He's on everything. He's on underwear. Well, he's always been on underwear.
Yeah, he always has.
But he's on your toothbrush. he's on your cell phone. He's on your TV. He's on your movie screen. He's in your games. He's everywhere. He's Spider-Man. And he's it's a good thing he's a friendly neighborhood guy. Because he's everywhere. But you know what? It's been good. Actually, the new cartoon's not all that good. But I don't watch it regularly. I've caught some of it though. I'm not a big fan. But yeah, so it's been Spider-Mania for 2018. He even died.
Would be complete without one of those.
And we're still happy he was there. But the game, I mean, not just the game though. Like you just mentioned, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the two highlights I think are the game and Into the Spider-Verse, and that's putting Infinity Ward in a third.
It is,
which is nuts. It's been a good year for Spidey, despite his death.
I know, dude. Speaking of Spider-Verse, this is normally something I'd say for Info Minute, but I want to roll it in right here. Spider-Verse even spawned a little something of its a hashtag zone called Spider-Sona.
Yeah,
and we talked a little bit about this. This is just awesome.
In a hypothetical, I don't want to do that again.
In a hypothetical, if we'd recorded,
recorded this once before and screwed it up. I will admit it at the end.
Oh man, it comes full circle. There you go. Basically, you have artists from everywhere getting together, doing art in all kinds of mediums for their version of a Spider-Man, often themselves, if they existed in a universe of their making. And
you know what? I want to look that up again and see where it was, because that was a few days ago.
Right. And you've literally got all these multiverse, like Spider-Man everywhere. Spider-Girls, Spider-Women, Spider-Dudes, Spider-Pigs, Hams, whatever. But it's really cool to see something like this just really explode on Twitter as a result of this movie. I love it. It was a really cool way to end 2018.
There's the Spider Raptor. The Spider-Saurus.
Spider-Saurus.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where's that webbing coming from?
Out of the claw? I'm just gonna guess. I don't know. I'm not even looking at it. But this was so cool.
I want a Spider-Saurus toy.
That's better than a Velociraptor. Oh man.
Yeah, this looks like it's kind of died down, and I mean I realize the speed of trends and such.
Right.
I was still going, but it looks like the 30th.
Right.
Is it finally our original recording was on the 29th, so it was still going strong. But yeah, but still, I mean these are so awesome.
Yeah. And I just love seeing this at the end of the year. Put a big old smile on my face after Christmas, going into New Year, and couldn't think of a better way to toast things out. Well, that brings us to the end of our, pseudo-retrospective in a hypothetical universe that already didn't happen before.
I already spoiled it.
You already did.
Spoilers, we screwed it up.
But, hey, people, look, it's been a blast. Look, thank you so much for listening. Look, thank you for tuning in over this past year. We hope that you stay right here with us on into 2019. Week. And every week and beyond, we're always going to have stuff rolling out. Besides our weekly show that we do, we got Let's Plays, we're going to have our movie reviews, and more coming. So, but hey, every subscribe, all your comments, look, we want to hear from you guys. All of it helps us produce what we do here and to keep this going bolder and stronger than before. So,
did you say to like and subscribe?
That was a subtle hint.
Okay, did you just say because I was looking at spider people?
In a very roundabout way, I did, but you said it again, so I love it.
I like it.
Come on in, people.
Yeah.
Come on in.
We have cookies. We're not going to share them, but we have them.
In periods there. Love it. But all right, that's going to wrap things up for us.
Hold on. Maybe you said this too, and I missed it. But
you're totally spacing out.
I did a little. I was looking at this cool Spider-Man art.
Fair enough.
Shut up. Comment below. What were some of the biggest things that happened in 2018? And what do you think is going to happen, side effects in that into 2019? Let us know below what you think, and we'll jump in and agree or fight with you about it. I tend to fight with people.
Yeah.
So, so yeah. But what were some of the biggest things? Maybe some things that we missed. We'd love to hear them. We attempt to do this as a discussion. So yeah, let us know. Okay.
Cool.
That's all.
Hope to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out. We will see you guys again soon. Happy New Year. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, is there anything to go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but if great, if you could throw some support, you can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.